There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Putas.
Why do you look at me to be the first?
I was just staring at you.
I know I'm a marvel. Hey, everybody, it's me, Leah.
And it's me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. Hey, hey, ho, ho, hey, 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 ho.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Oh, hey, hey.
Hey, ho, hi, ho. Off to work we go.
That's right. We're here to work. We're here to do the work with Ghost Adventures Review, Season 5, Episode 8, Tooele Hospital, which aired in May
27th in 2011. Sorry.
That was excellent. All right. So we're in Tooele Hospital. It's a hospital.
In Tooele. On Ghost Adventures.
Which is in Utah, by the way.
Woo! Sorry.
Tell us about it, baby sis.
Well, Tooele Hospital dates back to 1873 when it was originally constructed as a residence by Samuel F. Lee. It was used as an old folks home in 1913 and was known as the county poorhouse. Later, it became Tooele Hospital and then reverted back to an old folks home near Tooele County Hospital, which was built in 1953. So this hospital, like it was converted into a hospital out of necessity, apparently, like according to Zach and their pre-investigation. And this area was, like they said, like a poor town. And they needed a hospital, so they made Tooele Hospital. And when the guys go out there in 2011, it is an old folks home / haunted attraction called Asylum 49. And Asylum 49 seems to still be open. Like 12 years later. I don't know. They still have a functioning website. And it looks like they had an Easter shenanigans haunted hospital rabbit revenge event.
The rabbit's revenge.
In early April, and their website's a real fucking cheesy, bro. But you know what? Do you, boo?
That's excellent. So they're still on and popping, and I'm sure using the the Ghost Adventures feature. They're featured on all these haunted TV shows. So good for them, because I guess that means that Tooele's haunted.
Because this was a makeshift hospital back in the day, they didn't have a morgue. And Zach mentions that like when they had dead bodies, they had to wait for morticians and shit to come by.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal. And they also mentioned that this is one of the hot spots in Utah for paranormal activity.
Oh, yeah. What I thought was really cool is when the guys get to Asylum 49, they're under the impression that it is a completely abandoned building. But the guys quickly discover that it's actually half functioning. And this is where the old folks home comes into play, is on the other half, right behind the haunted attraction.
Asylum 49.
Is a bunch of old people waiting to essentially, meet their end. Yeah. And Zach has this whole moment of the hospital lives and life and afterlife and all these things coming together. And it's just like all these energies and all these different energies. And Zach then interviews a lot of the nurses who work on site to learn more about what they experience.
Yeah, and they experience some pretty interesting things. The nurses mentioned that they hear little kids and stuff. That's a pretty common occurrence, is seeing and hearing a child's voice. And Leah noted that one of the nurses, Marie or Mary, I don't know, tells Zach about little kids seen right before patients die.
Yeah, man, that was pretty brutal. She goes, so when we see a little kid, we know that someone's about to cross over, like they're about to pass. And then she goes on to say things like, and that typically happens in a pattern of 3.
Yes.
And then this is where we kind of hear the number 3 start being brought up in a pattern in a way that gets Zach to be like, oh, this number is significant to this location. So she kind of drops that out there.
Yeah, he gets so stoked.
He gets so pumped about it. We also hear about the nurse in white who patients claim to see telling actual nurses there, oh, hey, we don't need the help anymore. The nurse in white helped us, and there's no nurse in white. So they claim to see this woman quite regularly. She's, I guess, helpful. And I guess the main one that is really focused on is the dark male energy. The way Nurse Marie says, he's the scary one.
That's right. Yeah.
He's the scary one. And he comes out at 3 a.m. And Zach is like, okay, a
3,
pattern. Here's that
3.
number 3. So again, all these things are being brought up, and it's getting the guys juiced.
Yeah.
Over Tooele.
Yeah. So continuing on the pattern of 3. So again, 3 patients usually die at once in this home. Like, when one person dies, they're like, all right, 2 more are going to go real soon. Right. And then, as Leah mentioned, they see the nurse in white. They also see that black male figure or the dark male figure, and then they see a little kid. So those are like the 3 main apparitions that people say that they come across. So again, another like stint of 3. And then people say the activity really pops off at 3 a.m.
Yeah, so the guys catch on to that pattern pretty quickly, and they're ready to kind of like jump in. They talk to a couple more people, but they hang out with Nurse Marie often, and the guys actually revisit this location, and we get to hear from Marie again, which I think is going to be cool. But they kind of start fucking around with her, and they're like, oh, it's really dark in here without the camera lights. And they turn off the lights, and she's like, oh my God, freaking out about it. And then Zach's like, we're going to hang out over here if you're cool with that, with the lights off. And like this whole thing fucking happens, and it's ridiculous, but it's pretty cool that the crew kind of scares her a little bit. It's a funny moment. And there's a couple like skits as well in this pre-investigation, and I think that's one of the first one that kind of kicks it off.
Yeah, for sure. Like, she's real freaked out about being in that space, and he's like, would you come over here with me and we can talk to the little girl? And she's like, yeah. Like, she's freaking out. And he's such a jerk for doing that shit, because like they go over to like a different side of the hall, and he's like, we're gonna turn out the lights. And it's like, what? You didn't say that. And she's all like,
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It was real silly. Real silly.
But like I mentioned, the guys they talk to a couple other people, one of them being a guy named Brett, who is a TIPA researcher, and I can't remember if that's like the name of a paranormal group in the area, or if TIPA's a real thing. I don't know what TIPA is. But anyway, he's there, and he claims to have been scratched down his back 3 little scratches, so 3 lines. Again, the continuation of the 3. He also claims to have seen poltergeist activity in the location, and this is really funny because he's telling Zach about all this, and they're sitting in like a hospital room, and has 2 beds. Zach's sitting in one bed, just both feet on the ground, staring at this guy, and Brett is like laid on the bed holding his head, like he's laid out. I literally noted it as he's laying on the bed like one of Jack's French girls. Like he's got his hand holding his head, and he's laying there, and I'm like it took a second because I'm making my notes and stuff, and I asked Bethany, I was like, why is this guy laying like that?
Yeah. That shit was fucking funny. She turns over to me and she was like, oh, why is he laying like that?
Why? Like Zach's just there. They're just having a regular conversation, and
he was like trying to be seductive.
Yeah,
Shit was funny though.
Like, that's just what Zaddy does to you. He makes you want to lay out on the bed and pose.
Brett was like, yes, we're going to hunt ghosts.
It was just so weird. And then I feel like he caught himself because then he sits up real quick and kind of like readjusts and matches Zach's kind of energy and sits just straight up. And I just thought that was so funny. I was like, what prompted you just to like get on this bed and lax like that?
And then like what prompted him so quickly to shoot up? Because he did do that. He like got up real quick like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Like what?
Like, maybe you shouldn't be laying on the bed. I don't know. It was weird. It was really funny little human, I think, thing to happen.
Yeah. Again, with the series of 3 things happening, this guy that they interviewed, Jeff Bird, said that he also got 3 scratches like across his chest. And he was just a fun guy to talk to wearing his Asylum 49 jersey.
He was definitely about it. So as it kind of continues, we mentioned the guys get into some skits. Some of the skits here, they actually go skiing. Again, like we mentioned, they're in Utah. They head up to the mountains. And we have this whole fucking ski skit happen with ski patrol. Zach running from ski patrol, Aaron sliding down the hill on his stomach. I'm like, oh my God.
What the fuck is happening?
This is fucking chaos.
Yeah, it got me really worried about this episode because they spent a good minute out there on them ski hills.
Yeah.
And of course Zach's got to be all macho man or like, you can't catch me, ski patrol. And then ski patrol comes after him and then he goes to hide in the trees and he's all like, shh, don't tell them I'm in the trees. They're not gonna find me. But then they find him and he's all like laying in the snow. And then like, you know, he has to be all dramatic. So when he like tries to get up, he like tumbles backwards and like gets on his knees. And then he like holds his arms out all like fucking, are you not entertained style. Like, my God, this guy, man.
He is the fucking most.
Yeah, he is quite the showman. I mean, it was really funny to see all that. And then like Leah said, fucking Aaron on his stomach, fucking ski boarding, sliding down on his stomach. And he was just like left behind laying there.
Oh my God. It was I'm like, that's very dangerous.
Yeah,
and like,
it was a lot.
Zach's like, Aaron, you can't be doing that. And the patrol's like, hey, you can't do that. And Aaron's just like, I'm flying by.
I bet you they probably like cleared the slopes for them or something. You know what I mean?
So.
Like,
I'm like, God, Aaron, that's dangerous.
Yeah, like they knew who the guys were. Obviously, they were all joking around and stuff.
Oh yeah,
they didn't get in trouble. You know,
no, that white male privilege.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach was like, instead of putting me in ski jail, just I'll lock myself down in the Tooele Hospital for a night. Is that a deal?
Is that a deal? And the guy's like, yeah, buddy, it's a deal. It's a deal.
And then Zach tumbles away.
I was going to say, I don't think you gave that tumble the justice it really needs. He's like, he literally, instead of just standing up, he rolls into a ball.
Yeah, and tumbles. And he does the tumble, like his legs go over his head.
Yeah, like full-blown
fucking like middle school gymnastics tumble. Like, and he's like, are you not entertained? Yeah.
It was just fantastic. And when we break down what he was wearing in that moment,
man, you're gonna love it.
It makes it so much better. So hold on tight for that. But I think outside of the ski skit, there's one more, and it's right before pre-investigation. The guys are getting ready to walk into Asylum 49, and they're like, where's Aaron? Aaron said he was sore from sliding on his belly down the mountain. Like,
he's not feeling well.
Yeah, he's fucking sick. And so Aaron pulls up in a fucking ambulance, and it is a big fucking deal. They're all like, oh man, Aaron pulling up in the ambulance to Asylum 49, and it was like a moment.
Yeah, and then like the actors from Asylum 49 like pull him out on a gurney, all dressed up and shit, and they go in and like
redonk.
Yeah. It was a moment.
It was, and it was the moment right before investigation.
Yeah. Just moving along, yeah.
Party.
Honorable haunts and skimpy scares.
All right,
Most
it is
excellent.
time. Yes, yes, yes. I think you have really the first note under. I think the first two notes in honorables and skimpies is about some of the equipment used. We actually forgot to mention it, but Brett, the young man who was laying like a young one of Jack's French girls, mentioned using a Jacob's ladder in his investigation at the Tooele Hospital, and the guys get really excited about it. So we hear about Jacob's ladder. It's an electrical current for spirits to pull energy to manifest. So the guys get excited and they talk about using Jacob's ladder in their investigation, and they also use a reel-to-reel recorder to pick up on some more audio evidence. So these things we'll see throughout the investigation.
I really like the reel-to-reel recorder. That show is cool. It reminded me of like Evil Dead or something. You know, it looks like that little tape that he hears the reading on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. You're right though.
The Kandarian demon bullshit. Yeah. And for the listeners, if you haven't seen a Jacob's ladder before, it's like two vertical wires connected by like this loud ass buzzing electrical arc that slowly travels upwards. Yeah, and it's just, again, like Leah said, it's just voltage applied between the conductors to help ghosts manifest.
Word. So I think to jump into the skimpies, because you know we saved the honorables for last, baby.
Yep.
One of the first skimpies that I remember writing down is Zach, or Nick and Zach feel a breeze during an EVP session.
Oh, that was mine. I was highlighting it because I was gonna.
I thought you were highlighting it for me to read it.
For you.
I don't know.
Yours was this one.
I know which mine was. All right, let's redo. Let's redo. So one of the first skimpies that I got was actually Zach claiming that he got pushed. This happens later in the investigation, but he's like, oh my God, I felt something push me. And of course, we didn't see anything. We don't feel anything in those moments. So skimpy scare.
Yeah. Really, the only skimpy that I noted was when Nick and Zach are doing an EVP session, and they both feel like a breeze, and they're like, "Oh, I got cold." And again, as usual, I'm like, "Meh."
This one here was actually we had to talk about it because Aaron is alone in the mirror maze. Again, this is kind of later in the investigation. The guys are all in different locations, and Aaron's in the mirror maze, and he picks up on a disembodied EVP. And on the show, Zach's like, we have to warn y'all, this is a demonic EVP, and like it's a low in tone. But I don't hear real words. I don't know what it's saying. It's just like,
yeah.
So to me, and me and Bethany talked about it, we said it was skimpy because it didn't sound intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it could be anything, you know what I mean? But whatever. And I think that's all like the major skimpies.
Yeah. And surprisingly, we got a lot of honorable skimpies.
Yeah, we got a lot of weird in-between ones. So the first one that I noted of like the in-betweens, they were, of course, you know, running EVP and shit, and they heard like, they claimed footsteps, but it was like one footstep. Usually like you hear a few steps, but it was just like, boop. And that was it. So I was like, I mean, it was cool because we heard it, but it was also kind of like lacking.
Very true. And then we have the Jacob's ladder session. Again, this was something like in the moment, I was like, I don't know if this is honorable or if this is skimpy, because while it's happening, the guys are getting like, I guess, a response from the Jacob's ladder, like the energy shooting from the conductors. But I don't know. It was kind of skimpy at the same time because it wasn't exciting. The guys feel drained in that moment. So we know that something's going on with the energy. But again, when it comes to the energy, that's not something that we can really see or something that we can, you know, validate. So it was,
I mean, they try to claim that like it's a big deal because when Zach antagonizes the ghost who's like, hit me, or being aggressive, then the current that goes up the ladder faces towards him. Like the energy is being pulled towards him. And then Aaron does the same thing. He starts being aggressive, and then the energy starts pulling towards him. And you can see it. You can see like the current. So I mean, like, like you can see the current kind of like pulling towards each guy as they're being aggressive. But even so, we were just kind of like, I don't know. I was like, you decide. I was like, I don't know about that one. You decide.
She really did leave, I feel like, all these up to me. But I put the next two also as honorable skimpies. In one scene, they are using a thermal cam, and Zach claims to get a mist on the thermal cam. And it's over to the far right of the screen, and it's like this little, I don't know, it's a mist for sure. But it was also really difficult to see because it's thermal cam, so it kind of blended in. We had to rewind it because we were like, where is it? Where is it? And so it was kind of confusing as well, because at first Bethany was like, I don't see nothing. Yeah. And that's why Bethany was like, you make a note on it, because I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. And I was like, oh no, I see it. It's just off to the far right. It looks like part of the camera imaging. I don't know. It was just weird. So it was an honorable skimpy, because there's something there for sure, but I don't know what it is.
Leah's note says, kind of confusing.
It was. And I'm sure my description was kind of confusing too, because it was just...
It was confusing to see.
It was confusing. So the next one and the last honorable skimpy is something fairly similar. They claim to get a mist in the clown room, and it's like a light. It looks like a little light reflection on the wall. Again, that could be from a number of things. I don't know. And it was so quick and it was so faint that I was just kind of like, meh. It wasn't impressive. Like, you see something happen, but... I don't know. It just wasn't like, holy shit, that's a mist or an apparition. Like, it wasn't anything like that. So,
yeah. Again, kind of just lacking in a way, you know?
For sure, bro. For sure.
Cool. You want to kick off the honorables?
I would love to, because this first one's pretty good. The first honorable that I have is Zach actually gets, Zach's alone by the nursery. He separates from Nick. Nick's in the basement. Zach goes away to go get something, and he's like, ooh, I'm alone in the nursery. Let me start fucking around. So Zach starts doing an EVP session, at which point he captures a growl on EVP audio. So that was really cool. We get the playback, and we hear like a
yeah,
which was cool, because growls are like, ooh, evil, angry spirits.
Yeah, that shit was creepy. It was good.
It was good.
One of the first ones on the list that I got was it in the nursery where he put the ball in the hallway?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Zach put a big ball like in the middle of the hallway and put like an X cam to look at it, and like, you know, dilly-dally did his own thing. And I thought it was funny because the ball, you know, it rolls, which was really cool to see the ball like roll on its own after it had obviously been sitting very still like the whole time. It rolls, and Zach says it rolled at least 18 inches down the hallway. And I thought that was funny because Leah wrote down the note. I was like, oh, you got that one? And she wrote it. She was like, ball rolls. And I was like, at least 18 inches. And then she wrote 18 inches.
Okay.
I just thought it was fucking funny.
Very significant.
Yeah. I mean, Zach was very pointed about those 18 inches.
18 inches. Okay, bro, I get it.
It was great. It was great.
Like I mentioned, the guys separated. So Nick was alone in the basement, sitting in a chair, asking some questions, and Nick captures some noises after he asked a couple questions. They were really cool, and it worked out well. It was very honorable.
That's hilarious.
Sorry. My notes were fucking
this
up.
Strategy worked well. It's like they've done this before.
I can't multitask.
Oh God, that's good.
You go next.
I'll do this one next. These two are kind of like right next to each other. Extremely honorable EVP.
Yeah,
Class
probably the best.
Fucking A.
For
Well,
sure.
these two I think are the best. They get an EVP that says Zach Bagan.
Woo, baby.
Woo-wee. And then I asked Leah, I was like, is this the first time we've heard Zach get called out like via EVP? And we can't remember.
I don't think so. Like, I think we've heard Zach before.
But Zach Bagans,
Zach
like his
Bagans,
full, like very
yeah.
clear, like I'm talking to you.
Yeah, and like I know who you are, like Zach Bagans.
Yeah.
Like that was cool. So that one was really great. Really probably the highlight of the investigation. And then the next one, like Bethany said, Zach's using a spirit box. Again, he's alone in the nursery and he's like, show me something, prove to me that you're here. And the response that comes out of the spirit box is, you're talking to me. Mm-hmm. Like, what else do you want me to do, man? I'm already proving it. You're literally talking to me right now. So it's intelligent. It was great. It was really good. And I love the spirit box because it's like, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Like it comes across with a little more inflection. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good one too.
Yeah.
Another honorable that I got that I really loved was they captured an EVP of a child voice. Mm-hmm. And that shit was cool. Leah said that she thought it sounded kind of like it was saying, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, kind of sounds like a cat meowing. Meow. But either way, they captured that shit. You can tell it was a kid. And I thought it was awesome because the nurses all say they hear kids, they see kids. Mm-hmm. And of course, Zach is always questioning if it's a demonic entity disguised as a child because of all the 3 shit and the scratches. Right. And like, that's just kind of what they've come to learn over the few years. And that one for me was a big one.
Oh, yeah, that one was fantastic. Anything involving kids is always fucking grade A, honorable as fuck. So that was really good to get those voices. Speaking of voices, we actually get another demonic EVP. And in this one, we put in honorable. Even though we can't, again, really make out what it says, this one for sure sounds evil. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, like I can't even fucking do it. So it was fucking nuts. It was really good. Sounded fucking scary as all hell. Honorable as hell.
Yeah, that was a good one. Another one that I really enjoyed and wrote down was they're roaming around and stuff, doing their thing, and they hear a door slam. And that shit was cool because it sounded as if like the door opened and then slammed. And it's super loud. It slams like 2 times. So that was awesome.
Yeah, no, that one was really good. The guys are freaking out about it because one slams right in front of Zach, another one slams right in front of Nick, and Zach's like, that door just slammed, and Nick's like, oh my god, dude, that one just slammed too, and they replay it, and you hear doop doop. That shit was cool. It was just really cool. The next one here, the guys hear some unexplained scratching, scratch. And that's scary. So honorable.
Especially when you're hearing shit like and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then people are getting scratched around here. Like, nah, bruh.
Don't like it.
I'm good. The last honorable was, this one was a really good one. Yeah. So Zach is talking, trying to catch AVP, and he's asking about like being in pain, you know? And then you hear a woman scream.
It's definitely more blood curdling, I think, of a scream than that. But
I'm not trying to blow your ears out.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Because you know I could.
But for the audience, understand that scream was brutal. And Zach was like, do you want to scream out in pain again? Like, he tried to get her to do it again because it was just so fucking intense. Really good stuff. But that's it for the haunts. So.
Yeah. And they were pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Solid.
Yeah. Zach's fashion for us!
Let's get into these fashions,
dude,
baby.
This was a great episode, bro.
Because they are wild.
White hot.
Oh, God. The first thing I noted was Zaddy's, like, gray and white tie-dye looking shirt. Like, it was very different, very unique. Again, it was really light in color compared to what he usually wears. But it just wouldn't be Zaddy without a huge white screaming skull on his chest. It is The most brutal thing, it's literally the whole size of the front of the shirt, top to bottom, neck to the bottom. It is a screaming skull with like feather art or wing art coming out of the side of it. It is the most intense fucking thing ever. Again, wild stuff from Zaddy. He's rocking some short hair. It's cut, but it's still kind of in that forward gelled.
Super gelled.
Yeah, super gelled. Again, it's Zaddy. He's crushing it. What I will mention too are his round sunnies. He is very Hollywood with these sunglasses. Like in the past, I feel like he's worn little like Terminator style glasses and like a little more Oakley style. And these are very round in shape, and they cover a lot of his face. And I was like, wow, that's very Hollywood.
Yeah, like, I'm hiding at the airport.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Did you want to mention any of these?
I'll do the ski pants because those those will haunt me.
Yes.
So when they're riding up to the ski slopes on those little like trolley thingies, I don't know what the fuck they're called. You see Zach's pants and he's in ski pants and they're like a light blue, but around the crotch area, they're purple. So it looks like he's wearing a purple Speedo.
Oh, yeah.
With like these blue legging things. Like it's just a weird illusion for me. And I was just like, what the fuck is that? It was not good.
It's fantastic. Yes, it looked like the blue part had like lightning patterns on it. So he has like lightning leggings on with a purple Speedo. It was fucking fantastic. With that, he's wearing a royal jacket with another skull on his arm, looking very zaddy. And then the last thing in the fashions is really more of a hair call out for our boy Billy Tully. He's on site talking about the reel-to-reel recorder.
Yeah.
And when they show Billy, he is rocking a majestic silver and black mohawk. It's like has chunks of silver throughout it, so it looks like, I don't know, it's a crazy pattern.
It's just so weird because he does not seem like the kind of person to have a mohawk, you know? So like when you see it, it's like almost awkward.
It's
Sorry,
so
Billy, I
awkward.
love you, but like, I don't know. He was young, you know, he was young. He was making choices and he was a kid.
Oh my God, those are things he's got to look back on and just be okay with.
Same though. Same.
Oh my goodness. But that's it for the fashions. You know what time it is.
It's my favorite time.
Zany Zaddy says,
What? Holy shit.
My fucking favorite. You want to kick us off?
oh my God, yes I do, because I loved this
I
one.
know you did. That's why.
The guys roll up. Like I mentioned, they're in Utah. They're having a time. And Zach's like, it's beautiful out here. Look at these mountains. It's fucking majestic. I'm exaggerating. But then it leads into, we're not here for beauty. We're here for darkness. Boom, baby.
He's really a poet. He's truly a poet.
The poet of our generation.
Man, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh man, this one kills me. This one's great.
This one's really fucking funny. Okay, so as we were talking about earlier, he was talking to the nurse and he was like, would you come over here and do a little investigation with me? And he tells Aaron, or was it Nick, to turn off the light, right?
Yeah, he tells Nick and then Aaron is what he says this to.
He says, slowly, goodbye, world. As they're turning off the lights, goodbye, world. And then the nurse is like, no, please, no. She's fucking like whimpering, bro. Like even the fucking, what is it? The closed captions were like whimpering. No. Please,
no.
Don't do it.
No. Like, what's going on?
Ah, it was good. It was good.
I loved that so much.
Me
It was
too.
just, turn off the lights.
slowly.
Yeah.
Goodbye, world. Such a creeper. I loved it.
It was so dramatic. It was perfect. It's perfect.
Was fucking perfect. Like the next one too was also just really kind of funny. This is when they're using the Jacob's ladder, and like Bethany mentioned, they noticed that when they provoke it, the energy manifests in that direction. So if it's Zach or it's Aaron or it's Nick, it ping pongs that way. So once they identify this, Zach hits us with provoke, Aaron, provoke. Like, just do it.
Yeah, demanding that Aaron provoke the fucking ghost.
Provoke it.
And it's so classic Zach.
Yeah.
Like this kind of behavior is what put them on the map.
Boom.
You know, like this is where it really kicks off.
Oh yeah, baby. The capital
Like,
pair.
he's always like, you know, he's always been like antagonistic, but it's really starting to ramp up and it's getting good. It's getting good.
It's getting good.
Speaking of being aggressive, after telling Aaron to kind of to provoke, you know, then he starts provoking and he's like,
You want to attack us? Come attack us. Attack us. Just do it. Come attack us.
We scared. I love that.
I'm wearing my affliction. I ain't scared of you.
who do you think you are? Huh? I got a screaming skull on my shirt. Fuck you.
of no ghosts.
Fuck you. You know what this skull means? It means fuck you. I'm sorry.
Woo!
All right, I'm done.
I gotta do something with all that. But that's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's the histories, the haunts, the fashions, the zaddies. It's time to rate this baby.
Oh, man. Do you know what you're giving it? I know what I'm giving it. What are you giving it?
You go first.
I think I'm going to do a 3 for this one.
Ooh, 3 feels good, but it doesn't feel right. 2.5.
Yeah. I feel like it's a solid like 2.53.
Yeah.
That's for sure. 3 claws, baby. Scratch, scratch. Ooh. 3. Scratch, 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 scratch. 3 claws.
The pattern continues.
Yes, it does. Yeah, no, man. I mean, it was funny. They actually got good evidence. I was really scared.
Yeah.
Because when they hit that ski skit shit, I was like, man, they didn't find shit here. I was ready to fall asleep. But we actually got some pretty good stuff.
did.
It wasn't like the best shit they've gotten, but it wasn't the worst. Like, I think it
Yeah.
was a good, definite mid-grade episode.
Oh, for sure. And kudos to you for being able to say ski skit shit fucking flawlessly. Like the whole time I'm sitting over here since you've said that, I'm like, how many times can I say it in my head without fucking
Ski
up?
skit shit.
Ski skit shit. Ski skit shit. Ski skit shit.
I ain't into that ski skit shit.
All that shit makes me need to cleanse.
Yeah.
Wipe it down.
I'm ready for it.
Give me the power, I beg of you. Give me the power, I beg of you. L'envoi monsieur de Bois-Chariot, ce soir et tiens au bois de mort. Allez, tuez Dumbledore, awake!
Take a big, deep breath in. Release that ski skit shit out.
You're killing me. You're killing me. I love it.
You're cleansed.
I needed it. Thank you, baby sister.
Me too. I need it too. I need to catch my breath. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us, stinky butts.
Speak for yourself.
I showered today.
We appreciate you guys.
Per usual, I'm still Bethany.
And I'm Leah.
And we're signing off with 2 besitos.
From these Putas.
We'll just give it to you.